What's going on? Another episode, Chopped Up a Q. Back again. It's been a minute, but I like keeping it spacing it out. Give us time to kind of relax and do some adulting type stuff. So
We're
I'm
adulting
Q.
very hard.
Yeah. Oh man, look, my schedule has been crazy. I can tell you all about that. But we in there, man. I'm Q.
I'm BJ.
Yeah, I ain't got to introduce you. You know when to speak.
We're back with you on this fine Sunday. We, post football almost. So.
Yep. I know. I think the Cowboys finally, are continuing a win streak. So I'm pretty sure all these people, especially Facebook, if it is functioning currently, I don't know if it is, but anyways, yeah, if it's working, I'm pretty sure a lot of Dallas fans are very happy and acting like they won the Super Bowl. But it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting football week. CBS or college football was it was an interesting Saturday for sure.
Definitely. I you know what? I'm actually one of those very few. Well, I ain't gonna say very few. I'm pretty sure I'm in there's quite a few. I enjoy college football a lot more than I do professional. I don't know.
Agree.
Yeah. Especially if you're there, like those who never went to like a actual game in person, you're missing out. Also,
you should. I think it's a different culture, and you got to do like that college tailgate. Every school has their traditions, stuff you're supposed to wear. Like, yeah, if you haven't been to one, like you should just honestly pick the school that's closest to you and just go.
Yes, I would say even if you're not a football fan, one. Go during a rival game. It's the best thing ever. And number two, go to an HBCU game. Thank me later.
Yes. Always a good time.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry because Texas decided that they didn't want to win that much. So, yeah.
So I am glad. So, yeah, for those of you who are not from Texas or don't listen to the show or don't know me outside of the show, I went to University of Texas at Austin, so I'm a Longhorn fan. I bleed burnt orange. Mm-hmm. So every year we play Oklahoma, but instead of having the game in Texas or having the game at one stadium or the other, we have it in Dallas, which is like the midway point at the Cotton Bowl, and it normally takes place during the time that the Texas State Fair is going on.
Yes.
So typically, if you buy tickets to the game, you also get free entry to the fair. So, I guess it's a win-win or a lose-lose. Either your team wins and you go to the fair and ride rides and have a great time, or your team loses and you go to the fair and you ride and cry into your fried food. I'm not sure. You kind of carb load to get through the pain.
Pretty much. And
I wasn't there, and I'm glad because Jesus knew that I didn't need any more carbs. So.
Hey, yeah, you should come on down. Here in Texas, they figure out how to fry anything. It's like, yeah. Hey, man, if it can drop in, we can fry it. Let's do it.
Fried butter, fried Oreos, fried ice cream, which is a fave. I've had everything from fried ice cream at this point to fried gator from the fair. So I'm still waiting on them to figure out how to fry cotton candy, and then we'll be all set.
Hey, fried sugar. Damn, that's fried whipped sugar. That'd be interesting.
I'm waiting. Somebody's going to figure out how to fry a lollipop or fried candy corn since it's October, something. Yeah. Somebody's gonna figure it out.
Hey, look, I'm pretty sure.
Shout out to Penrose for All Docked Up because that motherfucker loves candy corn, and if he could find out a way to fry some, he would be the person to do it. If there's a way to fry candy corn, that nigga will figure it out.
But why though? Why you what?
Yeah, he started something called the CCC, which is the Candy Corn Coalition, because last year he made candy corn coated hot wings. And so this has turned into a thing.
Oh,
an all-out war.
Oh, my. I don't know. I mean, candy corn is on my list of things that I'm like, nah, no thank you, next to Peeps. I'm sorry. I'm good.
Candy corn, Peeps, circus peanuts. Because I think circus peanuts get left out of this a lot.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, they're not that good.
They're so horrible that people forget to be mad that they exist.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Black licorice, too. I'm sorry. Can't do it.
There was once, I read a story last year about a gentleman who died because he was eating pounds of black licorice every day. And apparently there's something in black licorice that can be toxic if you have it in large quantities.
Yeah, he deserved that. What level of insanity are you where you're openly consciously eating a bunch of black licorice. What's wrong with you, man? Like, what are you doing?
I think would be the art.
Yeah, man. Look, if you have a homie who's doing that, get them counseling. They need help. Like that's, but yeah, man. You know the fairs. I would say it's fun if you've never been. I'm pretty sure. Because I don't know if every place have county fairs or not. I know for sure Texas and Wisconsin, but I don't know about any other place. But yeah,
I think other places do because I've heard people talking about them. So
okay. But yeah, I just gotta at least go this year. I ain't been to girls last year. And the one time, speaking of which, was funny because the first time we went out when we moved up here, it was during Texas OU, and this is when you find out that white folks are just as rowdy, if not more. It also is kind of hard to gauge them because when they're happy, they destroy stuff, and when they're mad, they destroy stuff. So you really aren't sure what's going on. But yeah, there was a big fight afterwards. I think Texas ended up losing by like a point. And some OU fans, I guess, said some Texas fans didn't like, and they had to go for it. So that was interesting. So
just want to sit there and eat my fried food in peace, man. Want to cry into my mozzarella sticks and all.
Oh man!
So yeah, that loss after a 21-point comeback from Oklahoma made that the fourth year in a row that Texas has lost to Oklahoma, meaning that there is a full set of recruits that have been there. And they have lost to Oklahoma their entire football career.
Yep. It really is. And it's going to be interesting whenever they decide to move to the SEC. So that's going to be fun.
Well, yeah, because I thought it was interesting kind of merry-go-round, right? Because Texas A&M, who has not been playing as well, was kind of at the bottom of the SEC going into this week's game, played number one Alabama and won.
Yeah, they pulled the upset.
Pulled an upset, and there were multiple upsets over the course of the day. And I think that is what makes college football so intriguing and fun to watch. Like, it's one of those, because, right, like we all, well, not all, but, have heard of Any Given Sunday, right? With
Jamie Foxx, of course, yeah.
Jamie Foxx in it. Yeah. And so they were like, why would you call it Any Given Sunday? Because any given Sunday, any team can come out and beat any other team. But I think that is certainly more true when it's college football, because it's that momentum and the crowd and all of that plays a factor in it. I don't think it plays a factor in like NFL games. I don't think it's as big of a thing with them. Like normally, if your team is just a better team,
I mean,
unless everybody's hurt or something, usually you just kind of get what you get, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not really going. It is also one of those things where, you're not going when, I don't know, Dallas plays Jacksonville. You're like, yeah, I'm selling those tickets. I'm not going to that game. We know Dallas probably going to beat them, whatever. But it's just totally different because I guess college fans are way more invested, or they're just more. Like I always said, I'm not even from there. I just want to go to a Michigan Ohio State game just to see how it is. Like I really would.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be an amazing game to go to just because of the history of the rivalry.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm all for that type of stuff. When Miami was good and Florida State, I'm pretty sure those games used to be like wired up. So like, I mean, it's even like that in Texas with high school ball. So you can go back. I don't know what Lufkin and probably Longview. I think that's who. Is that your rival?
Lufkin Nacogdoches is normally the rivalry game, but Nacogdoches is not good. Like that was always the thing. Like it's the rivalry game because they're 30 minutes up the road, but they were never on par or as good. So it just was like a sucky rivalry because they weren't good.
Okay. So yeah, like when I was in high school, we had two mostly black schools, and then there was Westbrook when they were terrible. Now they're the better school, but anyways, we used to fill out of of course it's Lamar, but it's still about 30-some thousand. We used to fill that stadium up, when we used to play each other. So yeah, Texas is key. Sorry for all those people who think otherwise. But anyways, what else been? How's everything else been though?
Everything's been good. Just work and school and work and some more work and some other work and some more work. So yeah, that's been that. I'm trying to think if anything more or less interesting has happened. Not really. I just no. Not really. I've been noticing that when I go to the grocery store, the shelves seem to be pretty fucking empty.
Yeah.
And from what I can read, that is going to continue.
Yep.
And will probably get worse as we go into the holiday season because, guys, if you haven't figured it out yet, although they keep saying that we're in a quote unquote labor shortage, which is bullshit.
Not true.
It's not true. What is true is that because they are creating a quote unquote labor shortage of their own making, they are also disrupting the supply chain and production. So for those of you who don't know, I will keep this very brief, but this will be the easiest way to explain this. We live in America, and Americans love capitalism. So what happens when you want to make the most money that you can? You don't want to pay people in America because this is a free country and a wonderful place to live and the best country in the whole goddamn world, blah, 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 blah. So we can't, we can't pay you 30 cents an hour. So we have to outsource the labor to other poor brown people and pay them 30 cents an hour.
Yep.
So what happens is that for us, because a lot of our goods are not made in America anymore, we outsource a lot of that shit to China. That's how shit stays cheap. We are having it made somewhere else and shipped here. Well, shipping lanes have been shut down. There's nobody to work and everybody's been sick. So that means that they are very behind on production. So for China, not every place in China, or not every region of China has factories that manufacture goods. In fact, there are only 4 of them. There are 4 regions that have factories that manufacture goods that come to America. What you should also know about China is that China does not have like free enterprise shit like where you pay a power company and they provide power. The government provides power to you. So based on what your usage was for the region for the year prior, that is how they allot electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because they were so behind from everybody being sick, a lot of these factories have been working nonstop around the clock. They have effectively used up their power allotment and are working by candlelight. And at some point, they will be on rolling blackouts and not have any power at all. Which means it slows down production. So a lot of shit that you would expect to see on the shelves by now or get just simply does not exist, and it won't. And that is just going to get progressively worse because there's nothing for them to ship. I've heard of people saying that stores have literally just not gotten an entire truck of clothing because there are no clothing. You're starting to see it in grocery stores where the shelves look really bare, even though they are getting shipments. So some things are hard to come by. Produce is going to start to become difficult to come by.
Yep.
Kellogg's is on strike.
Yeah, seen that.
So they are not making cereal and any of the other products that are currently housed under the Kellogg's brand, which, by the way, is a lot because for all intents and purposes, like 12 companies manufacture damn near all of the food that is made here.
Yeah,
and then
that's kind of sucks.
All the food, drugs, all the household products, all of these brands fall under like a large umbrella of these corporations. So, like, for instance, like Kellogg's, like they own like a bunch of subsidiary brands that are also making like Rice Krispie treats and whatever the fuck else it is. Yeah. Much like Pepsi owning like a million different soda brands that aren't Pepsi.
And Frito.
Like Frito-Lay.
Yep. Pepsi and Frito-Lay is combined. Procter & Gamble makes all your toiletries and your cleaners.
Johnson & Johnson.
Johnson & Johnson. Toiletries and cleaners. All these things. And that's a whole... Because there's even stories about how even ships are just stuck in the harbor because there's just no way for them to even come in. So it's like you just have a flood of ships just waiting out there in the Atlantic, just waiting to say, hey, yeah, bring your stuff in. But that is a problem when you outsource the majority of your commercial goods. And of course, they'll say that, well, outsourcing was just the most optimal way. And it's like, no, it was optimum in the financial aspect because you can then pull in more returns if all of a sudden you cut the pensions and cut everybody else's pay. But the question always comes, and this is where the contradictions come in. How can you sell things to people if they have no money to buy?
The $1 million question.
I'm just saying, after a while, this is the fundamental contradiction. It's like, yeah, you have to cut costs to maximize profits. But if you cut costs, labor cost is the highest, so they're always going to cut labor. But if you cut labor, people don't have the expendable income to purchase what you need. Oh, yeah, we'll solve that with credit. Cool, fine. How do you pay the credit back? Oh, damn. We ran into another problem. Anyways, yeah, there you go. Short story.
We saw a lot of that when people were not spending their money when the pandemic hit. They were staying at home, and then when people started to lose their jobs, a lot of people started to get a lot more notices and credit card offers than they had previously gotten. They were trying to extend a line of credit to literally anybody who was even remotely credit worthy. Yeah. I am talking like $550 score.
Yeah, $550. Hey, do you have a pulse? I think so.
Like they were extending credit cards to people they absolutely did not need to extend credit cards to. Yeah. And then there was, then of course the housing situation is still horrible. So I can't imagine how long that is going to continue. I kind of waiting for that to burst. We shall see.
I'm waiting for that too, because even when you're looking at rent, I remember running the numbers with someone, because I can't remember who it was that was talking. It was some random guy, and he was like, "Oh man, people complaining about having $500 worth of rent," and I was like, "Sir, where is this person getting $500 of rent? I would love to participate."
$500 where they live at? Can I too have $500 worth of rent?
Yeah, is this 1985? Like, what are we talking about?
Everybody, $500 in rent, like that's insane. Like, if you pay granted, I do know someone who pays a little over $500 in rent, but they also live in Lufkin, Texas. Like,
yeah, like not in any city.
Right, like nowhere where anybody wants to live or try to get a job are they going to get $500 rent. Like,
yeah. And I've even heard that contradiction where, like, well, you got to move further, you got to move away from the city. It's like, but there's no job in country. Like, what are we?
Right, and then people were moving to the country and keeping their city jobs, and now the city job wants you to come back to the office, and then if you don't want to come back to the office, they want to cut your pay They want to cut your pay because you work at home.
Yes, even though they save money by not having you there, it saves on facilities costs.
Correct. They cut the facilities, and then also they want to cut your pay, but you're now taking on the cost of internet and phone service and upkeep and using your lights and shit when you're home on working hours. You're not using their facilities. You're not using their toilet paper. You're using all those things at your home. Yes. So it seems stupid to try to cut somebody's pay for them being at home if they're still, like, it's really, like, it's a lot.
It's secretly, it's more mask off moments, because it's like, well, I don't know. People then will say, well, see, this is why you had to work for yourself. And it's like, it's not the solution for everything. Please stop saying that. I'm sorry. Because
the solution for everything is not for everybody to start a business, and it is not for everybody to try to monetize their hobby. It's simple.
It's not. And that's the problem, is like, people they misinform people, and then they realize they send them out there. It's the same with the whole, we'll roll into it, the MLM pipeline, because they preach the same thing to people, where they'll tell you, are you tired of, you just want to make extra income, or are you tired of going and clocking in? Do you want to be your own boss? Here, buy into this thing, and all you got to do is sell this stuff. It's simple. It pretty much sells itself. But if everybody's doing it, then you don't make the money that you need.
And because who you want to sell to if everyone is selling? Because if that's the case and I need some, I'm not going to buy it from you. I'm going to buy it from myself.
There you go.
Really, I'm not even going to buy it because it's my inventory and I've already paid for it. So if I just want to get something out of the inventory, I will. And just know that I'm not going to sell that piece.
But that's the thing that because the tactic works because people know there's a fundamental problem with how economics works in the U.S. And again, this happens everywhere, but we've only lived in the U.S., so we'll use that as the example. That they will tell people we have a meritocracy, and the harder you work, the more you actually earn, which is actually BS, because I haven't worked any. I worked the hardest when I was making $10 an hour, physically.
Agreed.
That didn't increase my pay. They just expected that then. Like, if you, and that's the thing, it just becomes an expectation. Oh, well, you can then move up into management. It's like, well, let's take a McDonald's. How many managers usually work at a McDonald's? We'll assume 4. One major one, maybe 4 supervisors. I can assume. And there's usually at least 15 to 20 employees, which means there's limited spaces. Everybody can't do that. So eventually you're just going to be as a regular worker, which should be fine. But that's not what we tell people. We'll shame you for doing that because, oh, you should have tried harder in life. And it's like, yeah, sure, that's
go get another job. Well, if everybody goes and gets another job, then who is going to do the job that we are talking about? The other part that I've always found fascinating about that argument is that they're saying, well, those jobs are only made for people to do temporarily. And then after that, like, those jobs are for teenagers.
Ah, yes.
Well, we have labor laws in this country. So your teenager, the 16 or 17-year-old, still has to go to school. Mm-hmm. So who do you think is running these places when these teenagers are at school? Like, they have to go to school. So they leave school and come there. They can only work the evening shift. Yeah. So when you go get your lunch from McDonald's and complain about how long it took to get it, those are not 15-year-olds making your lunch.
No, those are the adults. And the thing is well, I think in high school you're only allowed to work 4 hours a day or something like that. Up to, I think it's like 20 hours or something like that.
Yeah, like there's a limit on the amount of hours they can even work. And so unless you're shirking labor laws and would like to be fined or possibly do jail time for it, most places are not going to be like, hey, don't go to school, skip school and come flip burgers on.
Yeah, no. And then even the college thing, they'll say, well, you should have went to college. The thing is, everybody can't go to college. Everybody can't go be a doctor. I'm sorry. Because if everyone goes be a doctor, who's going to be the carpenter? Who's going to build the things? Again, it all turns into contradictions, and we end up in what we like to say, what's the term I'm looking for? A paradox, pretty much. Because you don't ever come to a conclusion. There's always a, what about this?
I mean, there's always going to be a what about, because these people, somebody has to do these jobs, period. Like, they're just the only way that society continues to function like it is for somebody to do these jobs. So really the only option here is to pay people more. Paying people a living wage, and then everybody can do the job that they have and be fine with the jobs they have. Like, people used to just have a trade or a specialty and they did that thing and you went to them for that thing. And as we have diversified and specialized things or automated things where anybody can do them, like, I get you not wanting to pay somebody because it's not a specialty and expertise, but at the end of the day, if you want people to spend money on the shit that you're peddling, they got to have money to do so. Like, I can't spend money that I don't have.
Yeah. And
I can't go get a job as a doctor and then all of us are doctors. I can't go get a job in corporate America and then we all are doing IT, but nobody's doing the fucking data entry or being the secretary or working in the mail.
Yeah, like, no one's manufacturing at all. So it's like, yeah, we all up here in the office, but who's doing the work? We don't know.
Nobody's doing anything. Everyone's managing.
Yes. So that's always been funny to be honest though. It's because it would be the same people like, well, you should have went to college. It's like, well, I did go to college. Well, what did you major in? Well, I majored in I don't know, art history or something. Well, you picked the wrong major. The college offered the major. So obviously there should have been some value in this if their colleges are offering this, correct?
Yes. So yeah, I would think that if you're offering something as a field of study, then that means there's some sort of value in it. So
yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I remember I actually had a debate with a buddy of mine because he was saying that, well, the rich people should be required to do all of this, and the business owners are the ones who really make all the money and things like that. And I was like, have you ever looked at how much money we actually give corporations in either a tax cut and or provisions for them to just function? And if these things actually didn't exist, they wouldn't have this vast overhead. Like, the pandemic should show that a lot of companies are operating on razor thin margins, and if pretty much You need to start asking them. So what you do with all your money, bro? Like you shouldn't have went to Starbucks here recently, huh? Did you not plan for this type of situation?
Why don't you have a 6-month savings, and why are you eating all that avocado toast?
Exactly. So yeah, the conversation then gets directed right back at them, and all of a sudden it's
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you make too much for food stamps. So I don't know what you want me to say.
Hey, yeah. Speaking of,
Also, fuck you, American Airlines, because I have a travel credit and I was trying to use it, and y'all told me that I had to pay a $200 change fee to use the fucking credit. And I am confusion because why are you charging me $200 to change my flight when you keep canceling flights, stranding people at the fucking airport, pilots leaving, nobody's trained, everybody's on furlough, everybody got COVID, people getting punched out in the back of the fucking plane, and whatever the hell else y'all got going on. But for some reason, y'all gotta do me shitty, and I gotta pay you $200 to use my fucking flight credit. When you got a bailout from the goddamn government, look, you broke hoes, you're not getting $200 from me. And I'm done. But they still some broke ass bitches, broke ass hoes. Fuck you, American Airlines, broke bitch. You look broke ass hoe. It smells poor.
That's all of them though. All of them. Exxon, American Airlines, all the airlines pretty much, because all of them got a bailout. Because they were like, oh, woe is me, please help. Nobody wants to travel because there's a virus going on. It's like, oh, you don't say. But, yeah. Oh, God. But, I don't know, man. It's all weird. And then, of course, the back and forth that's currently going on. It just makes your head hurt. You're like, man, I should just fucking move. I'm sorry. But then you like...
what you gotta do is you gotta start selling leggings.
That's right. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start modeling them and my big ass in some leggings. Like, yeah, y'all like this nice print?
I know owls, candy canes like that.
Yeah, I know the candy cane sticks out in a weird way, but don't worry about that. Just
fine. Cover it with the tunic. Buy one of these tunic tops, and then you won't be able to see that.
So for those who haven't seen it, honestly, if you never heard of him, talk about LuLaRich, who recently had a docu-series called LuLaRich on Amazon. And it talks about...
You can check that out if you have Prime. That should be free with your Prime subscription. I think it's like 4 or 5 parts.
Yeah, it's like, it's 5 parts.
4 or 5 parts. But it's a good watch. Like, it is an excellent watch, and it details the inner workings of a company called LuLaRich.
Uh-huh.
And I guess if you don't know what LuLaRich is, it is a company that sold these brightly weird patterned leggings and like tunic tops and
shirts. I think they started off. She started off with maxi skirts first, and then they
it was just maxi skirts at first, and then they branched out into leggings. And everybody wanted these colorful leggings and tunic tops, and it was very cottagecore, boho chic.
Yeah, it reminded me of something that Peggy from Married with Children would wear.
Yeah, it was giving Big Peggy vibes. But if you don't remember the name LuLaRich, if you were on Facebook during this time and had stay-at-home moms that you were friends with on Facebook, or if you knew anybody that had like a military spouse, and so they were at home with kids, this was a big thing in that group. Like, they would go live on Facebook, and it would be them holding up t-shirts and leggings and whatever, and they'd be selling this shit, and that was what it was. It was LuLaRich.
Yeah, they basically turned Facebook into QVC.
Right. And it would be, I'm going live in 10 minutes. I'm going live in 5 minutes. Like, literally, your entire feed would just be people going live to sell leggings. And don't they have one now where it's like that jewelry that's like everything's $5 or something? Don't they still do that where it's like the jewelry parties or whatever?
Yeah, it's all of them are scams.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, man.
It's essentially vector knives, but in the digital era. Like, it's literally vector knives, but for Facebook.
I almost got pulled into that when I was in high school. That's so hilarious. No, all right. So before I get, all right, so let me just tell my story. All right, I was looking for like a part-time job. It was after football season. And I was like, man, I just want to get a job just because I don't like I don't want to ask my mom for money because then she could determine if I get to go anywhere or do whatever. She still did, but at least the cost of barrier was off. But anyways, it was in like one of the damn, I'm gonna date myself. So they actually had like in the paper of help wanted. And we called them and they called us in for an interview like immediately. We go sit down. They were like, "Oh, but you got to make sure you dress business dress only." It's like that's weird. But fine, whatever. So we go in and we sit down, and they started talking about, yeah, so this is your opportunity to become like your own boss, and you get to market, and we market these knives to people. And I was like, knives? Oh, all right, that's weird. Whatever. And so yeah, you got to go door to door because this is before the internet was really popping. So we're talking about bringing supplies door to door to people, saying, "Hey, yo, you want to buy these knives?" And so yeah, imagine a little black kid in Beaumont, Texas, going to the white neighborhoods with knives. Like, "Hey, yeah, you want to buy this big Bowie knife? I know I'm not. I know I look dangerous, but sir, please, I'm just here to sell knives." But it was funny because they were like really, really aggressive with trying to get you to sign on. Like, "Come on, man, I don't offer this to anybody. I really like you. I feel like you can make it." And I was like, "Yeah, let me think about this." Because what really turned me off because there's a cost of entry. Oh man, you just gotta buy this package and it's only like $500. Like, I'm 16, how am I gonna get $500? Like, you want me to go borrow from my mama? It's like, but the
And that is the thing with MLMs, right? So we will just preference this by saying, if a business is legitimate, then there should be no buy-in for you to be a part of the business, unless you were trying to become a stakeholder. Unless you are purchasing shares of the business, there is no business model in which you should have to pay for the products to be able to sell the products.
Exactly. And I'm glad I knew that then because, I mean, obviously they've hustled some people into that before. Primerica is another one. Herbalife, Mary Kay.
Yeah, Avon, people don't think of them as being MLMs, but they are like the queen supreme of MLMs. Yeah, when they used to have Tupperware parties, which Tupperware parties not so much, but that is the model that they use to get people to join these type of things, especially. And I think what's very significant about like the Mary Kays and the LuLaRich of the world is that they prey on the idea of women empowerment, like women get paid less than men in the workplace, and you as you're trying to be a mom and trying to take care of your family, but you also want to have your own money. So if you do this, it empowers you to have money and freedom and help your family, but you also have time to spend with your kids and still cook your husband a meal. So it sells this idea of being the perfect wife and mother while also being a hashtag quote unquote girl boss.
Yeah.
And that is very appealing to people.
Yeah, it's basically preaching to women. Oh yeah, we told you you can have it all. You can have the money, you can have the husband, you can have the kids, you can all these different things. And it's funny because when you go through it, there's so many of them they talk about they got in and it was popping, but a lot of them have like ruined their relationships by the tail end of it. But it was interesting though. I mean, you could tell it was very predatory, especially if you target some women who may have like lower self esteem and things like that. It was just
So basically, the whole idea with LuLaRich, right, is that these people, which I was jokingly calling it, AKA Mormon ugly legging cult, because the owners are Mormon, and that in itself is fine. I do not have a problem with LDS or Mormon. Like, that is your religion. I don't have a problem. We're not going to make weird Mormon jokes. But the issue with this is that in their particular brand of LDS and what they were selling to these women was, you need to make your husband happy. And in order to do that, you need to sell these leggings so that you can take your husband on trips and provide for your family. And then you need to retire your husband from the job he has so that he can help you sell leggings full time.
Yes, it was and that was I do remember that where they were basically saying, yeah, if you get him to stop working, then y'all can actually make this y'all full time job. And it's like, what? It's like, why?
And then they wanted everybody to lose weight, and they were pushing people to go get gastric bypass surgery in Mexico.
Yeah, sending them to Tijuana. I think it was like, wait.
Of all places, like of all the places in Mexico you could send me to get gastric bypass, Tijuana.
Yes, and then it was funny because like one lady said, "Okay, well I'm gonna do something here in America," and she had like internal bleeding, and instead of saying, "Oh, we're sorry to hear that," they said the woman texted and said, "See, we told you, we can get you down in Mexico."
You should have came to Tijuana and got your shady backdoor, back alley liposuction done here.
Hey man, it was weird because they were, and they, I think one of them was saying how they went to like a conference and they realized that they all looked similar. Like, and they said it was very white, like very few speckles of black and color folks. But
well, I think it's because black people as a whole, and this, well, not as a whole, but generally speaking, when we are talking in terms of black families and black people, like we're in households where you need both parties earning income.
Yeah.
It's not the norm, especially historically in black families, for women to be home with children and men work, and that is the one source of income. It did happen for a while. We had the same type of shit that white people had, and at some point in the, redlining and post World War II, that simply was not the reality for us anymore. Both parties had to go to work. We did not have the equity and the ability. We were being paid less. We did not have the same advantages. And so at some point there was a shift in culture, and black people lived in homes where both parties had to go to work. It just simply was the way it is. And to be perfectly honest, that's kind of where we are now. And that's kind of how these people got pulled into these MLMs, because now we're at a point where white people need 2 incomes in their house too.
Yes. It's getting to that point where even if you are quote unquote middle class, whatever that means, both people are still out there beating the block. And
right. And we're starting to see an erosion of middle class anyway. So they definitely need the money. It's not even really a question of, can we afford for you to stay home with kids? That's a big no.
Yeah, it's not, and if it is, it's not for long.
No, it's or we can't afford childcare, so you have to do this, but you're gonna have to work part time or whatever. And there was some of the people in the documentary who talked very fondly about their time in LuLaRich and how it helped them XYZ and whatever else. But what we find out basically is that they were shipping people shoddy product that was ripping and tearing. They had an art department, and they were telling these people that they needed to crank out 20, 30 designs for these leggings a day.
And they got to the point where they were just ripping off other artists online. It was like, shoot, just change it by X amount of pixels and rent it.
Yeah, basically they were saying that it wasn't copyright infringement if you changed the art design by at least 20%. So they would go online and Google cute print or cute girly print or cute whatever print, and then they would pull up something, and then they would get on their tablets and they would rearrange it or rotate it this way or change the color or take out some of the feathers or whatever it was to make the design look different so that they could generate 20 designs a day for these people.
Yeah, it was basically they overextended themselves vastly. And to be fair, it could have been a decent thing, but hey man, once that money started flowing, folks, hey look. And then what really got them in trouble was they were having it to where the intentions were recruiting new people and only them buying new packages, and that's how the money was being brought in versus actual sales.
Correct. So that is also what, if you aren't aware, that's also what distinguishes a lot of MLMs, and it becomes not only an MLM but a Ponzi scheme, right? So the reason that it is that way is because not only do you have to buy into it, the way that you make commission is by bringing other people into the pyramid or the Ponzi scheme. You are not making money on selling leggings. Now, in the beginning, people were making some money selling leggings, but because they were getting, like, I think they said someone got a bonus of like $1 million, or the commission was $1 million one year.
Yeah, they gave
but the commission was not because these people sold the most leggings. This commission was because they had a pyramid scheme essentially set up to where you were constantly having to recruit people and then have those people recruit people, and that was how you made commission. None of this was technically rewarded on a sales basis, and that is why it is a Ponzi.
Yeah. And, we can even talk about how creepy the husband was, because this dude was sitting there talking about pretty much preaching like he was the head of, I forgot the name who started Mormonism, but basically it was like,
Smith.
Yeah, Joseph Smith. And talking about, I feel like Joseph Smith. It's like, this dude really, really feeling himself up there, huh?
Right. And so then we find out that not only are they having these people sell leggings, but then they're doing like meetings and these calls and stuff where they're basically encouraging these people. They were telling them to sell breast milk to get the money to buy in. Yeah, they were telling them, oh, well, if you need more money, then you need to be more subservient to your husband, and you need to get down on your knees, and then he'll give you the money. Like, that was hilarious. On these people. And the one lady was like, ma'am, like, he's not gonna, I don't care what you're saying, he's not gonna do that.
And I think she told her, well, it sounds like you need a new husband. And I said,
yeah, like, told the lady to get a new husband. Like, they were insane. Like, the one lady said that it got so bad and they got so far into debt. Basically, the lady said that she was making money hand over fist, but she was encouraged to spend money and purport a lifestyle on Facebook and Instagram that basically gives people FOMO, right? Fear of missing out and not being involved in this luxury lifestyle. Like, oh, you too can sell leggings and, get yourself a Louis Vuitton bag, a new wardrobe, and take your husband and your family on trips if you sell these leggings too. Yeah. She did this to the point to where it put her so far in debt that her husband left her. Her cars got repossessed, and she's sitting here in this documentary in front of God and everybody saying that to save money when her kids are not visiting on their weekends, she eats cheese and crackers for dinner.
Yes, like this, man. Oh,
look, and nothing gets to me because I feel like a lot of problems in our lives is shit that we have created. But to hear that woman sit there and say that she was eating cheese and crackers and she didn't have custody of her kids. Yeah. Oh my God.
Like, your life is ruined. What the like,
that lady is in financial fucking ruin. Do you know how hard do you know how fucked up of a parent you have to be as a mom for the state to be like, hey girl, they're gonna have to go live with their dad.
Yeah, this
like that, like they was like, girl, like you owe what? To who?
Yeah. Hey, that's
she had to sell her house and all that. Like, that lady has negative net worth. Like, to the point that they were like, girl, you cannot have your children because you don't have any money to feed them.
Man, it's so bad because you even think about, like, spaghetti's only $5. Well, they'll say 10. You don't even have, like,
Mama said cheese and crackers when the kids are not eating.
Cheese and crackers.
To save money because she does not have any money. The one lady who I think was like maybe the third person to get into it, she wouldn't say anything bad per se, but you notice that husband was gone.
Oh yeah, he was like, yeah, I got a dip on it. Is she tripping? And yeah, she was just like, yeah, whatever. And I said, damn, like the dude that you said you was madly in love with, when the money started rolling in. Hey man, and she even said, like, it's either I dedicate my life to working hard or I dedicate it to my marriage, and I chose the money. And it's like, she was like, I think I made the right decision. I said, damn, hey look, he ain't have a shot in that one. So
he did not have a chance in hell. And the thing about it is that her story is very different from the other ones that we see, because she got in when they it was the lady who was making the maxi skirts, the husband, one other person, and her.
Yeah.
Like, so the amount of money that she has made is probably in the millions because she is at the tippy top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
So for her, there was really no loss involved here. She got out of it, quit doing it, but she's made enough money to where her lifestyle is supported. Notice, I believe they look like they filmed in her closet.
That's what it looked like.
And that was a pretty
That shit,
goddamn big party.
it was big. It looked like a room. So
yeah, so obviously she did very well in this, and that she kind of has one of the only success stories that we see because everybody else's shit is fucked up. Like,
I think the sister didn't have too much bad go on with her. I don't think she talked about like any super negative things, but you can tell she like I ain't gonna say too much because y'all ain't gonna give me the snitch. But
there was one black girl, and she was the voice of reason. She said that she basically started out working in like the
onboarding process. So
right, she was working in the onboarding, and they were just onboarding person after person after person. And then she was like, "Yeah, but we would make like $1 million because they would have to run these people's credit cards. Like they said, these people would be waiting by the phone for months at a time to get a call from LuLaRich onboarding saying, "Hey, welcome on. You got that $3,000 for your package?" And so they slide these people's credit cards, ringing them up, and they're making these people hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a week from onboarding people. And Mama was like, "I'm in the wrong job."
Yeah. And so yeah, she switched over. She started selling on Facebook, and I think she said she got out of it too, but she made her cash and dipped. It was like, all right. So
I think she was one of the rare people who was like, I have enough comments. Because she doesn't mention having a husband or any of that type of stuff. So I think she just kind of did this as a single person. She's black, so she's not Mormon. So I think that it's very different. Like they could not brainwash her, but I just don't think she was in a place mentally where she saw this as a lifestyle situation. She saw this as a bag.
Yeah, she saw it was like, shoot, let me go ahead and grab this real quick. When things hit the fence, I'm a dip.
Yeah, like she sold her little packages, and when she got tired of selling leggings, Mama said after she sold the leggings she had, she was like, "I'm good, thank you," and was done. Like she really got in, made a bag, cashed out, and went on about her goddamn day. And the rest of them were trying to turn this into their like lifestyle brand.
And it was funny because I remember I think they said she was able to go on the cruise with them, but she was like, "Nah, I'm good." She was like, you know, no offense. She was like, "I love everybody, but y'all not gonna get me on no boat with a bunch of white folks. And it's just a handful of, you know." And I said, hey, look, I feel it. It's funny, but I feel it.
Yeah. I mean, she said it straight face. She was like, "Look, I don't have a problem, but I wasn't there." She said, "I'll see y'all when I get back."
Yeah.
So essentially what happens is these people start getting sued, right? Because they are sending people defective quality product. They are basically just doing shady business practices. I think what essentially started kind of the downfall of things is that some of these people lived in New York. And as we know, New York's Eastern District is very strict about laws, or Washington, I think maybe. They're very strict about laws as far as, Seattle. They're very strict about laws concerning like consumers and the way businesses can operate. And there are certain things that you can and cannot do to your business and your business model because they do not play that MLM shit. Like you are not coming there and you are not running a Ponzi scheme out of their state. They do not care. You are not doing it. If they find out you're doing it, then they're taking your ass to court.
Pretty much. and that was the main court because I think there was like 20 lawsuits they were dealing with. A lot of them were like class action suits and things like that. But the big one is when this the city of Seattle was like, yeah, you got to see us, man. Like, or the state of Washington. I'm sorry, but yeah, it was. I think one of the nephews got hemmed up because he was trying to get people into a fake weed farm and stuff like that too. It was a lot, man.
He texts the lady who lost her family and her kids and was eating crackers.
Yes, the
lady with no money.
And he just not even clever with it. He ripped a fake photo of money and then sent it to her. Like, come on, man. So the whole family is scamming.
Yes, like it was all very scammy, and then they had adopted a bunch of children, and one of their kids married the other adopted kid. And I don't care if they're not related. It's weird. And they're like, oh, they never even lived in a house together. I just don't think that two people who are calling the same two people mom and dad need to be married to each other.
No, that's I think that's crosses some line. I don't know. That's weird. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's like if someone were to get married and then you didn't start dating one of their nieces, even though you're technically not related, but you're in the same family. It's it's strange. I don't know. But yeah, it was when they said
I
that. I
didn't like
said,
it.
yeah. When they said that, I said, oh, I'm in for something. I'm in for one. That's cool. Let's roll with
We're
it.
in for a ride. Let's swoop on in and see what else is happening. But yeah, that was a super duper con, and I am apparently it still exists, and you can still sell LuLaRich leggings.
Yeah, they still some reason they haven't been sued to out of existence, but they're still here.
They managed to change the model to where you make money from the sales of leggings because they got caught on tape saying this is what we need to do to not be an MLM.
That's right. Just
while also denying in depositions that they were an MLM.
Or denying or what do you know the definition of an MLM? I'm not sure. It's like it's like for real.
Yeah, they denied knowing anything about anything, but then we're having these fucking powwows and recorded meetings where they were talking about how they knew everything and how they owed distributors money, and it was a lot. Like, yeah. God bless them. You know, peace be with those people, but they were running a big time, ultimate, super mega scam. And
mm-hmm.
If you're still selling those leggings and making money, I would love to talk to you.
I would, please.
Please reach out because I want to know everything about everything. Like, I want to know how you're making that money selling. Like, I need to know. I want to know so many things about you and those leggings that you're still making money selling.
Yeah, the ones made out of paper. But, but, yeah, man. So y'all just be careful, MLMs. If anybody tells you have to pay X amount of dollars and they can get you in, or all you got to do is give them this amount and then they got you, just say no. Just walk away.
Please. Don't involve yourself. So yeah, but if you want to check that out, it's LuLaRich. It's on Amazon Prime. That's streaming free. But in other scam news,
I mean, America's full of scams. Like, we have to be one of the most scammiest nations. And we love
entrepreneurship, man. They say you could corporate, you got to get it at all costs here. So if that means you got to scam a little bit and be a little ruthless and be shitty to people, hey, we're all for it because capitalism.
Hey, I guess. Yep.
So, shout out to anybody that avoided prosecution this week for their PPP loans. God bless. Hope you stay out next week too.
Yeah.
People that will not be staying out of jail. So the NBA, people are getting paid. I don't know what's minimum salary if you're on a team, $100,000 a year.
I think it's more than that. I want to say NBA because minimum salary for like NFL is like $250 or no $300,000. So yeah, I think $1 million is the minimum in the NBA.
Really? So minimum. If I sit on the bench, don't ever take off my warm up.
Yeah. I want to say. Hold on, let me double check. My bad. $925,000
is minimum salary.
Minimum
you sit on the bench and don't take your.
Nope.
So basically, I could make $925,000 if I at least make a team's roster, and I could sit like so far down the bench that I'm on the floor.
Yes.
At the end and make $925,000.
Yeah, they could toss you number 99 or whatever, just random jersey every week. Doesn't matter. Matter of fact, they even tell you don't suit up, son. Just sit in your street clothes. You'll make $925,000.
Yes. Okay. So we're just gonna hold on to that tidbit. So people that were making more than $925,000, because people involved here, with some of them I do not know. So maybe they've made $925,000. Maybe they've made less because now that's the league minimum. Don't know. But what I will tell you is that 18 former NBA players were charged in an indictment over this past couple of days. They were charged in the New York federal court because, like I told you, the Eastern District of New York does not motherfucking play. You will not defraud the state of New York. They do not care. They will catch your motherfucking ass. They said they were being charged in federal court for their alleged involvement in a massive health insurance fraud scheme. prosecutor said that the former players plus the spouse of one of the players were all charged for submitting claims totaling $3.9 million. The accused also managed to receive about $2.5 million through their insurance fraud scheme. So let's see. We have some names here. Milt Palacio. Don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know him.
Sebastian Telfair. I remember him. Antoine Wright.
Yep.
Charles Watson. Darius Miles.
Darius Miles, yeah.
Ruben Patterson.
Sounds familiar.
Eddie Robinson.
Yeah.
Gregory Smith.
Not sure.
Glenn Davis.
Yes.
Jamario Moon.
Yes, remember him.
Terrence Williams.
Yep.
Alan Anderson.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Tony Allen.
Yep.
Shannon Brown.
Yep.
William Bynum.
Yep.
Melvin Ely. Or Ely?
Ely? I think, yeah.
Ely. Christopher Douglas Roberts.
Yep.
And Tony Roten.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't know most of these people, but based on the names that you know and the ones that I know, the reason we know these people is because they were not making the league minimum.
No, they were pretty decent rotation players. Sebastian Telfair was a first round lottery pick, and so
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he made a decent amount of money when he played. Now, I don't remember how long he played, but I'm sure he made at least $1 million. Minimum. At least.
Minimum. Okay. So in addition to this, Desiree Allen, Tony Allen's wife, was also charged. So according to prosecutors, Terrence Williams, who was apparently masterminding this scheme, who was a one-time shooting guard for the Houston Rockets and for the Nets, had he had recruited other players in a scheme to defraud the NBA's insurance plan by submitting fraudulent insurance claims for reimbursement for medical or dental services that were never rendered. The scheme ran from 2017 to 2020. Williams would recruit participants into the scheme by offering false invoices to support their fake insurance claims. He also aided his co-conspirators in obtaining false letters of medical necessity. Prosecutors also said that in one instance, when a player did not pay the kickback he was supposed to, Williams purportedly impersonated a plan manager in an email and pretended to indicate that there was a problem with the player's invoice. The indictment said that Williams allegedly first submitted a fake medical claim for $19,000 in chiropractic services that he purported received in California. The fraudulent claim managed to pay Williams $7,672, and he later began to recruit others to perpetrate the scheme. For his services, Williams allegedly received $230,000 in kickback payments from 10 other players.
Boy, man. Did they just not think people who are paid to look at paperwork for a living weren't going to catch that?
Yeah, so everybody was charged with one count of conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud and wire fraud. And apparently Milt Palacio is the current assistant coach for the Portland Trailblazers.
Ain't that a bitch?
So,
boy.
The article gives you the bare bones about this, but what you should know is that they were doing these kickbacks, and basically they were just making invoices like that you and I could make in QuickBooks. Like basically saying they went to Chiropractors of America in California, in Beverly Hills, California, and I got my back and neck worked on, and I got a deep tissue massage with the gun, and I got a cryogenic thing or whatever, and my treatments were $20,000. I paid, through the insurance. I had money. I paid them the $20,000. Here's the invoice to show that I paid them. Send me $20,000. Mm-hmm. Except for they did not go to the chiropractor, and nobody did any work, and the invoices were not real.
Like, bro, okay. I would assume, I don't work in insurance, but I'm pretty much just, I'm going to assume this is how it goes. Invoice comes in. Insurance company sees it. Insurance person says, okay, they had a charge for blank, blank, and blank. Let me call to verify. Ring, ring. Hey, did this individual receive these services? No, you say, huh? Interesting. Thank you. And it gets put
Here's
in.
how they got over. That worked out with that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But they were able to circumvent this by putting their own numbers on there and then pretending to be people working at these places to be like, yeah, that happened. They absolutely did receive services.
Okay, another problem. Whoever worked those cases, they need to be let go. I'm sorry. Like, because I'm sorry. Like, can you imagine if you're trying to call Walmart and you're calling the cell phone number? It's like when you Google the number to see, is this the right number? Let me double check. Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
Because I think it's also one of those things where you're talking about high profile people who have money. And so you are like, well, damn, $12,000 for a chiropractor seems like a lot of money to me. But I also am not an NBA player and I'm not rich because if Sebastian fucking Telfair's invoice for his goddamn knee treatments came across my desk, I don't know that I necessarily would pay it a whole lot of fucking attention either. Like, what got them caught is that they were recycling the same invoices with the same invoice number and not changing anything about the invoices.
Oh, so they
and all having alleged dental work done at the same place on the same day.
You telling me they got caught because somebody just couldn't go change one or two numbers?
Right. They were too lazy to update the fake paper. Essentially, how they got.
Oh man, how you too lazy? How you too lazy to follow through with your own scam? How does that work?
Because you start making money and you get sloppy, and that's how it works. You get sloppy because you're making money, and you assume that you will never get caught, and they always get caught.
Man, see, if you get away with something, just walk away. Don't be greedy. You got away with one. Just walk away. That's it. But
or like, my thing is, why would you involve other people in your scheme?
I don't know.
Two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. So yes. Why would you go involve 17 other people in an insurance fraud scheme? Because honestly, if you got to kick back a $7,000 the first time, why wouldn't you just do like 4 claims a year?
That's it. Like, look, did anybody not see that?
That's like $30,000 a year. That's a cute 30. Did anyone make $30,000 go to work every fucking day for a year?
Did anybody not see Dead Presidents and how they got caught? It's because somebody was doing too much. It is always somebody doing too much that blow up the spot for everybody.
Okay.
So,
hate to see it.
Oh God, come on, y'all! Y'all got to do better than that, man.
Now y'all all going to jail
over some goofiness. It's weird, man.
You're going to jail because you needed to lie about getting your crowns put on your teeth. Like,
again, it's and even then it's a high risk thing because if someone decided they just was like, hey, we're getting a lot of claims for these players, let me really look into it, and somebody just decides to just make a phone call, you're done. And that's the thing, is like, it wasn't even really fully thought through.
Right. Like, it worked one time and they were like, oh shit, let's do this. Well, I mean, eventually with anything, people get audited for effectiveness and efficiency and correctness. And when it comes to insurance claims, eventually those people get audited and those claims and receipts get audited, and somebody is going to look at that and be like,
dang, this nigga
something seems off here.
This nigga got a new knee. He had a massage from 4 masseuses who happened to be from Asian descent. I don't know why he included that. He got crowns on his teeth, and he got a whole new set of teeth.
He got crowns on the same teeth. A year later.
And then he bought some dentures and said just in case. You know, like, right? Like,
there's only so many things you can do to your teeth and your knees and your back. So it's just, I don't know how long they expected to keep this up.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
God bless y'all. Y'all really gotta tighten up the scale. Gotta tighten.
It's like most of the scams are just sloppy now. It's like, I get them all the time on Instagram. Hey, I just want to send you money to your Cash App. Why? Because it's like, no.
Because you want to hack my Cash App.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Come on, man. But
yeah.
Oh boy. Well, hey man, I hope
Peace be with y'all, man.
Yeah,
Hopefully you don't have to go to prison. When people did that college admission scandal and they did like 2 days in jail or whatever, maybe you'll get 2 days.
Yeah, we'll see. Nah, them niggers know what they were doing. Send them away for 30 years.
Yeah, they finna go to jail.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
And white women, that white lady did a month. Y'all finna do lots of months.
Yeah, all she had to do was cry a little bit. Like, oh man, she didn't really mean it. She just really wanted what was best for her child. Yeah, put her on house arrest.
They not getting house arrest. The next one in jail. Well, so I guess we should wrap this up. But I have 2 choices for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you like to talk about a viral TikTok video about deadbeat dad who also happens to be Little Duval's DJ?
Okay.
Or would you like to talk about not feeding a photographer at a wedding and denying them food and water for 6 hours?
You know what? That last one, when I poked my head out on Twitter one time, I seen that story going about. So tell me more about that one. What's up with this photographer thing?
Okay, so a Reddit user posted in the Am I the Asshole forum, which I have pulled something from this before. I'm going to condense it because it's a long ass post, so I'm just going to give you the rest, like the good parts of this.
The synopsis, all right.
Right. So basically, this person is a dog groomer by trade, but to promote their work, they take pictures of the dogs after they have groomed them, like most people do.
Yeah.
So they have a camera, obviously, and the ability to point and shoot. Some friends of theirs were getting married, and they were on a very tight budget. The friend who they keep in mind, this person that's dog groomer was invited to the wedding and had RSVP'd and had a plate and all of that. Mm-hmm. The groom comes to the person and says, "Hey, would you be able to be our wedding photographer? We're on a tight budget. We will pay you $250. The dog groomer is like, I don't really want to, but sure, you're my friend. I'm doing you a solid. You're getting married. I'm trying to help you have a beautiful day. Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So this person gets there before the wedding starts, obviously, so they can run around with the bride and take pictures of them getting ready, and they shoot the ceremony, and then they're at the reception. Well, at this point, it's been 6 hours, and the person has not been fed. They brought 2 bottles of water with them that are long gone. And during the reception, this reception is being held like a veterans hall that does not have air conditioning. So they are sweating, sitting around. Everyone else is eating. And so not only have they had them photograph this entire situation and have not offered them food or drink at first, they have them watching the children that are in the reception while everybody eats. So finally, the person is dying of thirst and hunger and is like, goes to the groom and is like, "Hey, could I have some food or something to drink?" And they were like, "Nah, you got to take these pictures." And so the person was like, "Okay, well, I'm going to take a 20-minute break so that I can run up to the McDonald's and get some food and drink." And the groom told them, "No, if you leave, I'm not going to pay you."
Okay, fine. Then you don't get these pictures then, my guy.
Well, then here's the am I the asshole part. The person who was taking the pictures got so upset by this that they left the reception and deleted all the pictures off the camera. And they wanted to know if they were the asshole.
Nope. I think that's justified. I mean, because here's the thing. If I'm doing you a favor, because let's just keep it real. Wedding photos are pricey. Hiring a photographer for a day, you definitely got away with $250.
Yeah, because typically for weddings, they charge a day rate. So it's normally, it's normally a pretty penny. It's far more than $250. We're talking sometimes thousands of dollars.
Exactly, depending on who you get.
Because that also includes them editing, and then you're paying for anything over that, where you get like some commemorative book or something like that they offer, or a certain amount of photos or prints, or you want to take a sneak peek. All of that may be extra depending on the package, but they have a day rate. And typically there's a contract you sign, and in that contract there's a space that says that you are to provide these people with a hot meal.
Yes. And so that's kind of strange though. Like, why would you do that to you? First of all, then you turn him into a babysitter. Oh, hey man, why you taking those photos? Watch these kids too. We gonna be over here eating.
Also, the person was supposed to be a guest at the wedding, so then when they hired them to do the photos, there should have been a plate there for them.
Exactly. Just give me that one that I don't know, knowing the way it sounds, they probably recycle that. Oh man, don't worry, Jeremy ain't eating. He busy taking pictures, so you can have his.
Yeah, but this shit's wild. And the other part that I kept saying people seem to be forgetting is this person's friend. Like, these are supposed to be these people's friend.
Yes.
And so you're saying that as your friend, you denied somebody that you are in a friendship with food and water.
Yes. Yes.
Like it was Guantanamo Bay.
Yes. Like, that is kind of wild. It's like, you would think that you were like, hey man, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get your food first before all the other stuff really pop off. Because it only takes 15, 20 minutes for him to eat or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of crappy.
I mean, obviously the thought here is that he's not going to sit down and eat or she or he, I can't remember if it's he or she, but they're not going to sit down with guests and eat a meal and socialize and whatever else. Typically that means they're going to eat their food in the corner between shots or whatever, or pick and, nibble or whatever, so they have enough strength to take pictures, but they're not going to stop and sit down and socialize with your guests.
Yeah. I don't know. Even if they did, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Like, it shouldn't matter. A lot of people
defending the behavior, right? There's a lot of people defending the behavior. And one girl whose Twitter I'm not going to say or whatever.
You're not going to be smirched on my field. That's fine. How?
Basically, she was like, "Oh, so y'all give water to contractors and people that come to your house and repairmen. I've been a contractor. Nobody's offered me food or drink and blah, blah, blah." And everyone had to point out to her, well, yeah, girl, I have home training. Like, if somebody comes and mows my lawn for me, I live in West Texas.
Uh-huh.
If somebody comes, it was 97 degrees yesterday and it was October fucking 9th.
Yes.
If somebody was outside mowing the lawn in 97-degree heat and I see them, even if they don't take it, I'm going to offer them some water at the bare minimum.
Yeah, like we've done that before. If someone comes to repair something in your house, we're like, hey, yeah, you need some water or anything? Nah, I'm good. And let them tell me they don't need it.
And they do whatever they're going to do. Typically, they just say no thank you. Nobody's saying you have to offer your contractors a full meal, because typically, if they are working or a part of a crew, they get a lunch break. Those people quit working and go get food and drink and then come back and continue their work.
Exactly. And so you even denied the guy a typical lunch break, because I'm pretty sure your wedding lasted about 8 hours total. So, I mean, he's at least allowed 30 minutes.
You would think. Your friend.
Yes.
And after he took all those pictures for you at a serious discount and still had to go home and edit them and touch them up, you were like, nah, you don't deserve water.
Yeah, but I mean, I look at it like this. Only way he will be wrong is if he paid them the money. If he didn't pay him money, you get no product.
No, because keep in mind, he told them that if he left to get food or water, he wouldn't get paid. So he had not been paid.
So therefore, that verbal contract is null and void.
I agree. I thought that it was just interesting that people were trying to justify that level of shittiness to somebody as a service worker, but also as someone that you call your friend.
Yeah.
Like, the service worker part aside. Like, this is somebody that you are legitimately friends with, and you willing to threaten them with dehydration
and starvation. Like, really though? Like, yeah. I hate to see how y'all treat y'all friends, because if that's the case, nigga.
Red flag. If you were out with somebody and they mistreat service workers, that is a red flag. That person has no spirit.
Yeah. I'm sorry, yeah.
People that don't tip and people that mistreat service workers have an ugly fucking spirit, and that is just, they're horrible people. I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's fair. I say it. Because there's no reason to treat people that way. There's nothing wrong with kindness. And I'm sorry, like, it doesn't cost you anything. You say it all the time. Being kind and minding your business. That's it.
Shit's free. The motherfucker wanted some water and a chicken wing, and they acted like it was the end of the world. Now, I did say if it was me, I would have kept a photo. because they had to go on their honeymoon. Now I'd have left and I would have got my water and my food and not came back, and I would have had their pictures. Now they held them hoes hostage, and I would have said the only way you get these pictures is if you take me to court.
They wouldn't do that though. It's not worth it. Nah, I would just deleted them shits. I would have did the same thing.
They'd had to pay. No, they would have had. I'd have held them hoes ransom. It's $700 now. You want them? No. Okay, I'm gonna delete them.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I wouldn't mind that either. Be like, yeah, nah, I need triple now. Sorry, $750.
I held on to them shits for leverage. Absolutely, I would have kept them until I got what I wanted.
And then and make sure I get my plate too, and 2 bottles this time. You know.
I'd have been like, when you show up here to get these photos, you need to have cooked. Like, I'm gonna need a plate wrapped in foil. I'm gonna need a can of soda. I'm gonna need a bottle of water. Matter of fact, did you bring me something back from your honeymoon? I'm gonna need a souvenir because y'all wild. Like,
well, at least you know who not to be friends with. At least that's one learning thing he probably got out of that.
I don't know.
Oh boy!
When I got married, we fed every motherfucking body. Everybody was at the reception hall. Shit, we ate, we drank, we sent motherfuckers out of there with bags of candy. Get to here, take this shit home with you. I'm not gonna try to take none of this. Bye. You want some more food? Take it with you.
I mean, we do that.
Some more of this cake? Take it with you.
We do that at all because we usually host Thanksgiving, and I'm like, look, take as much because I don't want to have to put this stuff up. Please take as much as you want.
What are you gonna do with wedding food? After we leave, like after we leave to go on our honeymoon, I'm not gonna be back to put any of this up. Why would I want my mom to have to try to lug it? No.
Yeah. Like, nah, man.
Take that shit and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's like how many barbecues you start wrapping plates for people. Like, here, take this. I'm full though. That's fine. Take it. Eat it later. Take as much. But yeah, no, I don't think he is. He or she, whoever.
But you people in real life are assholes.
Yeah, y'all terrible, man. That's how y'all think. God damn.
The want to be in charge or lord over somebody who was in a service position to the point to where you would deny them food or water for fucking 8 hours of work. Because please keep in mind that if you were at your job and you told those people, hey, I gotta pee or I'm really thirsty, I'm gonna go get a drink of water, you would break your neck trying to get to HR or trying to find a lawyer to file a lawsuit if they told you couldn't have any water after you had worked for 8 hours.
Yeah. So. I don't know, man. But yeah, I gotta stop being better to people. That's all I'm gonna say. You can leave it at that.
You are very ugly in it, and I want you to.
Oh man. All right. So what else? What's coming up this week or anything going on? New episode alerts, all that?
Well, let's see. All Doc-Up is recorded this week. We are just not recording tonight as we usually would. So I think we're going to go live tomorrow evening, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if we're going to do the live stream, but I do know we're recording tomorrow. We watched the Bob Ross documentary, so that's what we'll be talking about. It's on Netflix if you'd like to view it. So we'll be talking about that.
Okay. What do y'all stream off of? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
yeah, well,
Twitch?
She uses StreamYard, but we use StreamYard to stream it, but normally the link goes up on Twitter.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'm not in charge of the technical stuff. I'm not in charge of the technical stuff. So yeah, there's that. And then Murder He Wrote will be back this week as well. I'm doing a 2-part episode on cult called the Anthill Kids and their leader Rocketerio. So instead of making people wait 2 weeks to hear the entire story, both parts of that 1 and 2 will be out on Tuesday.
Okay. All right. So let's see. On my end, I know. Let's see. We recently just posted an episode about. With Happy Politics, and I'm trying to remember exactly what we discussed on there. I think we were pretty much talking about the reconciliation bill and other things that are currently being held up. This week we're actually going to plan on doing another recording, probably talking about these worker strikes that are going on, many cases, because it's Kellogg's, and then even there's a big strike with within Hollywood for the production side of things. So that's actually pretty interesting. And so yeah, if you're interested in any topics like that, I'm probably going to stream on Twitch with that one. I've recently started doing that. I need to get the URL for all that and let you know exactly where to find it. So bear with me on that one.
Please know we can see more of you.
Yeah. So yeah, other than that, just trying to get all that stuff, try to, situated. Even I don't know, maybe take this to Twitch eventually. Y'all could just listen to us rant while I put a game or something like that in the background. Maybe even teach V how to play video games. That'd be fun.
I can play Mario. I have a Switch. I can play Animal Crossing. Barely. Okay. I don't like it. I can play Overcooked 2. That's
actually pretty fun.
I love that game. I'm obsessed. I play all the time.
Yeah. It's a good party game, actually. Especially if y'all got, feeling it just a little bit or a little saucy. Then it's really fun.
Yeah. So that one was good. I enjoy Overcooked. I play that one all the time. I can play, I guess, Mario Odyssey. Once upon a time, I used to play a tad bit of NCAA football on like the JV mode because somebody was teaching me to play, so I can barely play. Barely play.
Yeah, we'll get you up to speed. That's all good. But yeah, man,
we'll play Sonic, and I can play Super Smash Brothers. Barely.
Hey, there you go. See, look, you're a real one with that. Smash is awesome, but yeah, that's
I can play like 5 games. We get on Twitch and y'all can talk about me getting my ass beat. Sure, okay. Sure, fine. We'll do it.
But yeah, those are just some of the things I'm, contemplating on, working on how to do and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's just taking time to figure out things like OBS and all the other technical aspects. But yeah, we'll get it together. Other than that, let's see. You can also make sure to view this podcast most places where you can find them, but specifically we have Spreaker. We're also on iHeart and especially Apple. If you are listening to it on Apple, please leave us a review or let us know, what you think, how you think, if we can, where to improve, all those good things.
Give us 5 stars. Even if you have ugly things to say in the comments, give us 5 stars because, we want people to listen and it helps more people find the show. So share it, like it, rate it, review it. And if you, of course, have something that you're feeling sore about and want to talk to us about it, you can do that too.
Yeah, we do accept guests if you're, if you come in good faith and you're, reasonable person. If you're just coming to yell at us, that might be fun too, but still. Other than
yell back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Where can the people find you?
Let's see. I am on Instagram. That would just be Q_simp. I am still also on Twitter as well when I do decide to pop on there like every once in a while. But you can just find me there. That's @_Q_the_great. And then we also have the show's Twitter, which will then be, hold up. I know I got this one. Hold up. There we go. @chopping_it_up_pod. And chopping is minus the G. So yeah. You can hit us up on there as well. And yeah, I think that's, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's BJ_Burton. It is the same in both places. You can also find me on the other show's Twitter and Instagram. That is @MurderVPod. VEE 2 E's MurderVPod. I am the same on Twitter and Instagram if you would like to talk to me about murders there.
Oh man.
Or MLM or Ponzi schemes. Hey, I don't know. I'm a true crime whore. I'll talk to you about it.
Hey man, we might have more MLMs may come in because it's always a new one. So just go. I don't know. There's debate of Bitcoin is there as well, but that's a whole nother discussion. Anyways, we appreciate y'all. Yeah, so I appreciate it, and we're going to ahead and cut it here. And again, be kind to folks. Don't be an a-hole.
Please.
Recording stopped.